Hello, I'm Richard Tyler, international speaker, author, and also known as the Possibility Architect. This is my assistant today. She was an entire person when we arrived this morning, but something terrible happened in the day, and now it's simply just her legs. So we'll just let her get on with her stuff maybe, and we'll have a conversation between us. Right now, though, I want to spend a bit of time talking about the performance map. Now, this is in the very early part of the book, and for me sits at the very heart of Jolt, sits at the very heart of artful leadership, and sits at the very heart of your transformation to move from ordinary to extraordinary. Now, I've worked with organizations for 12, 13 years, and I believe what I see each and every day are people within those organizations needing to make decisions, be brave, be bold, transform, innovate, fix stuff. And much of the time, they're putting their attention and their energy in the wrong place. And of course, they ask the question that says, I keep doing stuff, but you know what? Nothing ever changes. It's never any different. The performance map holds many of the answers for you. The performance map holds many of the answers for you. And I'll tell you why that is. The performance map gives a very simple framework to say, we can influence a whole host of stuff around us. We can influence the environment we are in, the space you do your stuff in, whatever space that is, whether that's a space you brush your teeth, the space that you go and drink with friends, the space in which you run team meetings, the space in which you have one-to-ones, the space in which you present, the space in which you perform, whatever space you are navigating throughout your day will affect your outcome. The moment you start to tinker with that space, that will also have an effect on your outcome. So beyond the space, we can also start to change the way in which we behave within that space. The way you walk, stand, talk, sit, communicate, influence, challenge, coach, engage, lead. The behaviors of all of those things you can influence, you can control, you can shift tiny, tiny nuggets. Now, the action and the behaviors that we take in life are driven by the skills we have, our capability, the technique we choose, the how we do something, the how part of communicating, the how part of leading, the how part of singing, dancing, giving feedback. You need to have the skills and be capable and competent at that thing. So already we've got three really simple pieces. You can change the environment and the space you're in, it will affect the outcome. You can upgrade and alter your behavior, which will affect the outcome. You can learn new skills. Go and read a book. Jolt, Jolt, Jolt. There are loads of other good books available. Read a book, get a handout, go on a course, and you start to learn some skills. Those that make the step change towards extraordinary start to fiddle around and tinker and flirt with the other two levels that go beyond those three. Those are the levels of think and identity. Think is made up of a couple of components, beliefs and values. Our values in life being our highest held criteria. Trust, integrity, respect, honesty, difference, fun. You'll have a whole series of values that you might not go around thinking about consciously each day, and yet you will still have some sense of how important they are in your life. They'll be your pillars. Your choices you make every day will also be massively driven by the beliefs you hold, by the beliefs you have learnt. Now, learnt is a really important word in this, because anything that has been learnt in life can also be unlearnt. Beliefs are imprinted on you from the moment you are born by family, by friends, by your community, by the stuff you see on telly, by your schooling. They're your rights, your wrongs, your shoulds, your shouldn'ts, your cans, your can'ts, your musts, your must-nots, your do's, your don'ts. Oh, I can do that here, but I can't do it here. All of that stuff that for much of us is unconscious running every day. And then we go one level higher than that, which is about identity, about who you are, about your purpose. This is about transforming from just doing something to being. This is the difference between doing a bit of singing and being a singer. This is the difference between doing some photography, taking photographs, and being a photographer. This, perhaps for you, is the difference between doing some leadership at a transactional level and being a leader. Because, you know, the moment we take something on and we adopt it as our identity, we transform the experience our audience have. We transform the way in which we ourselves commit to that outcome, commit to that delivery. Here's the thing that's really important, though, about the performance map. Those lower 3 levels actually are fairly straightforward for us to fiddle with. You can adapt your space, you can paint the walls a different color, put some different furniture in. You can go and do that thing in a different room. You can behave differently. Organizations bang on a massive amount about behavioral change our behaviors. We can go on courses. Billions of pounds are spent globally training people to be better leaders, better managers. Billions is spent. The first conversation I have with most of my clients is, this is rarely about skill stuff. If what you think you need is a new skills course, you're probably going down a rabbit hole, because do you know what? You will have a team of people in your organization that will have many of the skills that they need in order to be able to do their jobs in an extraordinary way. Rarely is it about capability. Sure, for all of us, there is some constant learning about upgrading how we do something, some new skills, adapting them, tweaking them, making them more relevant. That is always there. What I see consistently is that once we've taken account of those 3 levels, the space, the action, and the skills, actually we're left with the other stuff, which is about shifting our thinking, shifting our beliefs, having beliefs that enable us as opposed to the ones that disable us, and starting to take more things on at an identity level, if it's something we have a desire for. Are you comfortable doing leadership? Are you comfortable as a person in your organization being done to by other leaders? Because that's what happens if we go out there and do leadership as opposed to taking on the identity and committing to being a leader. The research behind the performance map is really simple, based on some work by Robert Dilts and his team of people back in the 70s, was that the higher the level we go in the performance map to start to make change, the more sustainable our outcome is. Okay, I'm going to say that again, just in case you had drifted off to sleep. The higher the level on the performance map you are prepared to make some adaptation, the more sustainable the outcome will be. So if we simply attempt to bolt new behaviors on you with thinking that actually is out of date or disabling, the new behaviors don't stack up. They don't connect. They won't land for you. It's a real example actually of cause and effect for me. We can deal with the effect and just plug new behaviors. We go back to the cause and say, actually, unless the thinking transforms, unless the thinking upgrades, unless the thinking evolves, the behaviors are unlikely to land. For me, the performance map is something that you can use every single day. How do you navigate your day as you look at the things you know you need to do in that day, the things you know you need to do in that week, in that month, your year's objectives? As you look at the performance map, at what level do you think you need to do the most prodding and pushing and tweaking and upgrading in order to ensure that those outcomes land? Remember what I said earlier, it's rarely about just behavioral change. Most of the behaviors you need, you can do. Most of the skills you need, actually you have. If you don't have them, do you know what? Go and learn them. Buy the book, go on the course, go and find someone that has the skills and embrace them. Because once you've done that, then you can start to be bold and brave in your decisions. Then you can start to transform way beyond ordinary and start flirting around with extraordinary. Use the performance map. I want you to use the performance map in a really simple way. I want you to apply it every single day to when you hit those blockers, when you hit the problems, the challenges, the issues, the things you want to transform and be different. Go back to your performance map and use that as your base point to say, where do I need to put some attention for this to move? Maybe you have relationships that you want to move forward. Maybe you have stakeholders that you need to influence and engage and they're not moving. So where do you think they are stuck on the performance map? How can you start to get inside their heads and their thinking? Because you know, once you begin to do that, then you start to create some real change and control the piece that you control, which is ultimately what? Do you remember? It's in the book. What you control, the one and only piece that you control, is your thinking, your attitude, your mood, your behavior, and your reactions to stuff. Use the performance map as your guidebook. Use the performance map to keep nudging and choosing where to put emphasis. As a result of watching this film, engage with me. Send me an email. Everything you need is at the end of this film. Connect with me on Facebook. Send me a tweet. Start a dialogue with me that says, do you know what? This bit works brilliantly for me and this bit I'm stuck with. Come and tell me. Come and tell me and I'll blog about it. I'll make more videos. I'll have a call with you even. And I need you to ask for what you want. Get jolting, get active, start moving, start shaking things up, and you open up the possibility to become a disruptor in your organization and your industry. Thanks for watching.